So you got the $1 million, you got some helpful investors, you start hiring people. What were those people supposed to be doing?
They were supposed to be programming and building product.
Okay, and building product for who?
Building product for the customer. And a huge issue here was engineers, as I'm sure all of us know, just really like building elegant code and refactoring a lot and making it really fast. And this was a huge debate and problem within my own company. I always wanted to just build lots of features for the customers, and a few of my engineers just wanted to make a really beautiful code base, and that's just not what customers want.
And so what did you find out, and how did you find out what customers want?
We got out of the building, as your book told us to do. And
if I was smart, I'd have book here, 4 Steps to the Epiphany, available on Amazon.com.
It's a great book.
But I won't say that. No.
It was one of the only books I read that first summer when we started the company. I read through Eric Ries's blog. He's another great entrepreneur. And
Lean Startup by Eric Ries, worth buying.
And I read through 4 Steps to the Epiphany, and that was actually our biggest concern, because my co-founder and I, we had this great CS background, but we didn't really know how to build useful products that made money. So we decided to set up a very strict schedule for ourselves. Every Friday, we would get out of the building and watch people use the product. And even if there were still more features we wanted to build before we saw people use it, we found out that each customer led to a completely different set of insights that we wouldn't have gotten from past customers. And we couldn't just do it for 10 or 20 or 30 people. We had to survey dozens and dozens and dozens of customers to really figure out what we're going to build.
Wow. And so what did you learn? What was this sounds perfect, right? Nothing could go wrong.
Well, you find out that a bunch of the features you built, they're not using. You find out that you wasted your time on just thinking about a product roadmap that doesn't make sense. So one thing we learned early on was not to plan 3 or 6 months in advance, because by doing these customer surveys, we found out that they urgently needed XYZ feature that we just didn't have in our plan. So we had to be really flexible, and now we only plan 2 or 3 weeks out.
So isn't that short-term vision kind of in conflict of having a long-term vision for the company?
I don't think they necessarily are.
How so?
We have a long-term, very high-level, broad vision. We want to help every business owner better manage and improve their finances. And whether that means going down the path of building accounting software or replacing bookkeepers and accountants or whatever, that's just a high-level vision. But the low level of how to get there is the hard part.
And did that cause any conflict with engineering of who wanted to build this perfect code?
Yeah, it's really tough, because what customers want isn't necessarily what you or your engineering team wants to build. Some of these features are really, really, really unsexy, financial statements and stuff. I think they're awesome, but they're not necessarily that exciting.